The title. Launch HQ is going, and we need your votes. You got to be in the chat room to vote. We're going to start with a kind of raunchy Pacific Northwest flavor saver. It'll be the first story and we'll get it out of the way. But I just want to warn you, if you got little ones watching, if a YouTuber streams and no one watches, does it make a sound? Well, that's a good question. I guess the machines are listening, right? They're probably transcribing. Does that count? You tell me. Okay, Andrews. Getting her locked in for the go position. Everybody get in that gosh darn chat room. Come on, get in there so I can say hi to you. Here we go. In a 3, in a 2. Welcome into episode 63 of your bootleg. I got an Andrews in here with me.
Yep.
And, you know, we have a lot going on in our neck of the woods. So we have, this weekend alone is Linux Fest Northwest.
Yes.
Amongst other things going on. And I'm a little nervous as somebody who is going to be doing a show and a presentation. How are you feeling as somebody who's been organizing the event? Are you nervous or are you feeling like it's locked in?
I am a little nervous, but no, I think it's going to be really smooth.
Good.
Actually.
Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think maybe what we should do is, I had a good Bellingham story. I wonder if I could dig that up.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe I'll start, instead of starting with the raunchy story, I'll start with the Bellingham story since it's related to Linux Fest Northwest. There is, in Bellingham, a famous rock that the community likes to paint. It's kind of a landmark along the Interstate 5, if you will, something you always keep an eye out for on your way up to, say, Linux Fest Northwest. And this may be the last Linux Fest Northwest that you ever get to see this landmark.
Yeah, Cairo 7's Jason Sloss is in Bellingham explaining why the rock has to go and where it may end up.
The Bellingham Rock weighs more than 100 tons, been here more than 50 years, but it won't be here much longer.
50 years.
I was always curious what people were painting on the rock.
That's why Keith Cook organized the Bellingham Rock Facebook page nearly 20 years ago,
Oh
showing
my
the
gosh.
messages
Yeah.
people painted in good times and sad.
Each story is pretty near and dear to whoever's taken the energy to go paint it.
Now have a look at this. I mean, you can see all the layers of paint, years
Gross.
and years and
Yeah.
years of storytelling.
It's like our own Cadillac
It's sentimental
Ranch.
to a
They
lot
don't
of
clean
people.
it up.
You paint over it.
But
That's the fun.
Washout says the rock must go because
Why?
of the Chuckanut Creek project to replace culverts, allowing fish to freely move upstream.
Oh,
The
yeah.
rock will be in the way of part of the structure that we have to build, and also we're building a.
Can I just say the amount of destruction we are willing to do for fish tunnels?
All right.
Because having just driven through one for a year, it's still remarkable
the construction zone.
amount of earth that is completely destroyed. I mean, it's got to be in the neighborhood of 1,000 trees and so much land completely nerfed and natural habitats completely uplifted. And now, precious community landmarks! What Washington won't do for its fish.
bypass road so we can keep 2 lanes of northbound I-5 open while we're in.
Oh, God.
Another bypass.
Another
Right?
I-5 bypass.
Yeah.
For fish. I mean, I love fish. It's in my name. But my God, this is going to be 3 years of fish tunnel traffic.
We're building a bypass road so we can keep 2 lanes of northbound I-5 open while we're installing that structure.
WashDOT plans to remove any soil contaminated by paint and break the rock into several pieces before hauling it off.
I want the rock.
Frank Youngblood says he
want the
made a deal
rock.
with WashDOT to move the rock to his property near Western Washington University and put it on public display.
Well, that's a
We're
big job.
hoping we can put together a package where they deliver all 4 or 5 pieces to this new site.
Oh, I see.
Is that Christopher Walken?
And we kind of glue
We are hoping
it back together.
Youngblood has the
together.
right
glue it back together. That was kind of walking there at the end, wasn't it?
and we kind of glue it back together.
Youngblood
Back
has the
together.
right to refuse the deal, and if that happens,
We'll plan for a limited opportunity for people to come out and get pieces of the rock, and we'll announce details about that if we need to
Save
go
the
that
rock.
route. We understand the importance of the rock. It's not just another boulder.
Washtenaw tells us the entire process to remove the rock will likely be completed sometime in May. In Bellingham, Jason Sloss, Cairo 7 News.
Man, if that doesn't just kind of define Bellingham and its uniqueness, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing right there. All of it, all around. I don't want them to destroy the rock either. I want to.
Snohomish has one too.
I just want like a breakdown of money spent on fish tunnels versus money spent on fixing I-5. I would like to just like to see a breakdown of that. All right, so this next story, this is a little more classic Seattle. And so I do want to warn you. I'm going to give you a jingle so you know where it's at. So maybe if you got a young one listening, you could skip ahead about 3 minutes, okay?
Rain, pride, and mild social danger. It's the Pacific Northwest flavor saver.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you're about to play a 3-minute video that
yeah, around
is
there.
maybe not family friendly?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, because Seattle has a long legacy of sex work.
Okay.
Have you ever?
Here it comes.
Have you taken the underground tour? They really get into it. Oh yeah.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
So in the underground tour of Seattle, they get into all the prostitute. Well, they have 2 tours. They have the family friendly tour, and then they have the
How do you think I became a
tour.
seamstress?
Okay. All right. Well,
My
so
sewing machine.
this one's a town near Seattle, and this one hits. It's a classic story from like the era of my childhood.
They found obvious signs of sex in several massage parlors raided in a prostitution sting last week. It comes as advocates for massage workers claim the businesses were targeted unfairly. Good evening, everyone. I'm Monique Minglavin. And I'm
What is great as the story goes along, it's the businesses are like, we did nothing wrong. We ain't doing anything wrong over here. You can't blame us. And then like the evidence that the cops
Right.
have is so astronomically obvious.
Yeah.
That like they have no position, but that
There was one in Marysville that just got shut down, but I still see signs for their other location on the way here.
wow.
Mel Thomas, Cairo 7's Madeline Ottley joining us live in Bothell to break down both sides of this. So, Madeline, what's the latest here?
Yeah, what are both sides of this one?
Well, Elle, tonight, Bothell police are laying out new details on some of the evidence that they discovered while executing those search warrants at these businesses. In one case, they say they actually interrupted a sex act apparently in progress.
Oops.
It comes as the
Wow.
department is facing new criticism over the fact that these raids were even conducted at all and
We didn't do nothing wrong. You shouldn't have even conducted these raids. We walk in on somebody having sex.
the way that they were handled. Condoms, lube, and naked and lingerie-clad workers.
It was very apparent that there was bodily fluid throughout the rooms.
Oh,
These
my
are some
goodness.
of the pieces of evidence Bothell police found in some of the massage parlors shuttered after a raid last week. They haven't clarified which ones.
We had just interrupted a sex act. We spoke to the male participant who, post Miranda, admitted that he was engaged in that.
The 5 parlors were immediately closed for code
5.
violations by the fire department, also on site for the raids, but completely separate from PD's investigation into prostitution and human trafficking.
If they were truly rescuing these workers, why must they use fire code violations to address human trafficking?
I love the trying to get out on the technicality. And then also, could we just talk about what the IRS books must look like for businesses like this? If they had 5 locations,
Right.
was it like one?
Well, those services are cash only. I
But
bet.
still, you got to have like an
Not on
LLC
the
or
books.
some kind of business,
Yeah.
right? And then you have to have some
a
sort of.
legit business.
You have to have something, right?
Yeah, up front.
And if you're doing 5 of them, that's no small operation.
Right.
How are they doing that from an accounting standpoint? And how do I find that accountant? We got no. Oh, poor Mumble has no audio, Ange. Let's fix that for them.
Okay.
So that is okay. So this story is almost over, but I just love well, yes, you walked in on us. The guy admitted.
Here's all the paraphernalia.
Yeah, under what is it called when?
The Miranda rights.
Yeah, under Miranda rights, he admitted that he was paying for sex, and they found all this paraphernalia. But You used a fire code violation to try to get us, so that's not fair.
Rescuing these workers, why must they use fire code violations to address human trafficking?
Advocates for Asian massage workers not directly affiliated with these sites say they believe the raids were discriminatory and anti-Asian bias played a role.
This tactic, under the guise of public safety, targets Asian massage parlors so unmistakably.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. So that's the seedier side of Seattle for you. But then there's also a fun side of Seattle. Something people don't really appreciate about us is we have quite the aero culture. Is that the right? I don't know if that's right. But we got airports like rashes. You know what I discovered this week?
Like dispensaries.
Yeah, like we do weed dispensaries. So Skagit County, where I'm up at the farm, has a Skagit County Regional Airport. Mm-hmm. It's a private airport. You can't just be a pleb off the street that walks in and goes. However, there's a couple of different companies that sell rides, essentially.
Oh.
And so through them, you can book a ticket. Now, check out how sweet this is. And this is clearly for people that have more money than sense and time. For like $1,100, you and your significant other, with luggage for each, can get a ride on a small plane from Skagit Regional Airport to SeaTac, where you can catch your next flight. But the unlock is there's no TSA security at Skagit Regional. Mm-hmm. And when you land in SeaTac, you're behind the security line. So you never have to go through TSA.
Wow.
You never have to wait in the line. And of course, you avoid all of the commute traffic if you're coming from Skagit County.
That's a hack.
$1,100 though. But yeah, they fly you all the way to SeaTac, and you just walk out and go to the gate for your next flight.
They have a museum of flight too.
Yeah, that is cool. And they let RV parking there. So, but every now and then, people are flying around doing their thing and something goes wrong. And this week, about a day ago, I think, or at least that's when the story came out, a plane was flying from California to Washington State, but had to crash land at a construction site after losing its engine.
A close call in Auburn tonight. A small plane makes an emergency crash landing in a construction site. You see it right here. Glad you're with us tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Esteban. Emergency crews say the small aircraft came down after engine failure right here on the 400 block of 15th Street Southwest in Auburn. The pilot initially planned to land in Renton, but at the last minute picked what she thought was a safer spot in Auburn. KOMO's Tyler Cunnington has more on those details and what a witness who heard and saw told Tyler.
I mean, the plane screwed up, but it looks like she landed in a dirt lot, right? So, I mean, could be worse.
Yeah, totally.
Well, the plane involved with that emergency landing is still here as of tonight. The two people on board making out without major injuries, thankfully, after what could have been a disastrous issue while in the air. We spoke to one homeowner who says he immediately recognized something was wrong with that plane as it flew overhead. According to Flight Radar 24, this Piper PA-30 plane with two people on board was flying from Eureka, California when both its engines failed.
Probably like one of those from Skagit County.
Right, yeah. What a good segment.
Yeah.
Landing in Auburn at this construction site. The Auburn Police Department says that the female pilot was left with non-life-threatening injuries while the male passenger was unharmed.
When a plane passes by, I usually don't even pay any attention because they are so prevalent. But this one, you could just tell there's something wrong with it for sure.
Jeremiah Yates and his wife were out doing yard work at their Lakeland Hills home, a place they're quite used to hearing planes fly overhead.
They had the couple go out there and recreate doing yard work for the B-roll.
And I stopped and kind of looked up.
They are clearly in the middle of a project, though.
Yeah.
Two engine plane coming through, and it was just cutting in and out, and you can tell like the engine was having issues.
Auburn PD reports that during the flight, the pilot initially attempted to land in Renton, but determined it would be safer to divert to Auburn.
So then, as it passed through, I kept watching, and about
Civilian
30
report.
seconds later, it was just quiet. And then it got out of view, and it seemed like...
I find airplane crashes to be the coolest. Either survival or death.
Oh.
If you survive... Incredible story.
Look at all those deaths. Cool.
If you survive, it's just a absolute badass story for the rest of your life. You got a license for a great story in every conversation, if you ever want it.
Well, there was one recently where one of the gals, I forget what they're called, was still in her seat, but was ejected from the plane. That was just like a month or two ago.
However, best case scenario is you die in an airplane crash. because you're going to die. So why not go out in the most epic way possible? Seriously, like, how did Ange die? Oh, at the age of something or other, she died in an airplane crash. Really? An airplane crash?
140.
An
Let's just not put this in the universe.
That's like, how many people do you know ever die in an airplane crash? That's incredible. I actually do know some people have died in an airplane crash. But like, it's such a unique way to go out.
It is.
It's a historic way to go out.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You'd be in the history books by default.
Yeah, don't Alanis Morissette ironic me.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, there you go.
From reigning tech to giants tall, the Pacific Northwest has it all, but mostly rain above it all. From reigning tech to giants tall, the Pacific Northwest has it all, but mostly rain above it all.
Okay, I think it's time to do the show. Are you feeling show red eye?
I am show red eye.
I don't have like an emergency show snack, which I can tell I probably should have, but I've made it through before. Somehow, I shall do it again. All right, get in that chat room. Now it is time to really get your bang suggester going. Now's when we need it. The Mumble Room is rolling as well. God, we need your titles. Come on. You know what to do. You know what to do. We need them. Hello, Drew. Here we go. Ange and I in studio.
Here I am.
See, told you. All right.
Proof.
Here we go. In a 3, in a 2. Streaming from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty West Coast, we greet you all. Good morning, good evening, whenever your timeline may fall. Time-appropriate greetings to one and all. This is The Launch, and my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
Hello, Angers. Let's warm everyone up with some deets they should know. We do the show live on a Tuesday. We'd love it if you joined us 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. UTC at jblive.tv or in your podcasting 2.0 app of choice. We also want you to give us a ring. Go ahead, give us a call and leave a voicemail at 774-462-5667. Big part of the show, 774-462-5667. Give us a call. We love it. Then the show comes out for your download on Wednesdays. The Jupiter Party members get it early on Tuesdays. And the links for everything we talk about, weeklylaunch.rocks. Well, Andrews, it is spring-ish.
It is.
I mean, it's in the air.
Yeah.
Definitely the pollen counts, acting like it's spring.
You know what? I had so much yellow pollen all over my windshield.
Oh, I know.
From overnight. Like,
yeah, I washed my car yesterday. I get in my car today. Yep.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's already wrecked.
Yeah, right.
Literally already wrecked. So you put in here giving flowers, yay or nay. And I think this is an interesting question because I've never really been a fan of giving flowers.
I know. Go ahead. Continue.
Walked into that one. They're just a lot of money for something that dies.
Yes.
And as I don't know if it's like just me being too practical or what, but it just seems like.
Oh, that's funny. Because I'm a very practical gifter.
But this is, I think, a flaw in perhaps the lady code. A lot of the lady programming, I think, is biased towards flowers. And I feel like a better gift in the flower department would be something that continues to grow. But, you know, again, that might be looking at it the wrong way. So you put this in here, flowers, yay or nay, and I take it you are a big yay.
Well, not a big yay.
Not a big one.
Because my first husband didn't. Okay.
Okay.
No, occasionally I do buy myself flowers to put on the kitchen table.
Yeah, that's nice. I do like that.
This kind of came up because at karaoke night this weekend, one of the guys there sang "When I Was Your Man" by Bruno Mars, which came out in 2012. And I knew immediately that I had to sing Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
Right? Which is a response to When I Was Your Man.
That's good.
And it was fun. And there's actually a mashup that I'm going to try to get so that, because it basically is a back and forth. I imagine the mashup is a back and forth. I haven't looked it up yet. But anyway, I do like flowers occasionally. But I also believe that it could be a waste of money.
Yeah.
And like for Valentine's Day, I'd rather have chocolate, I think.
Yeah, food, treats, things like that. A good meal. You know me, I'm biased against flowers because of the damn tulip festival.
This weekend, springtime weather was the perfect backdrop for Skagit Valley tulips in full bloom. Into the final weeks of the tulip festival, George takes us into the fields with the workers on how they're going to keep going into summer to get next week's flowers ready for their turn.
Oh, the flowers, the tulip festival. Man, just traffic. That's all.
So many tulips.
So much traffic. Everybody wants flowers.
Yeah, I don't think I will go.
No?
This year.
All right, well, here's my question. If you're out there, where do you fall in on this important, critical flower issue? Yay or nay on flowers as gifts? I agree. I think we can all agree for decorations.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in the spring or, sunny weather.
Yeah, you got a little dinner going on. You put a little thing on the tabs. It's nice.
Yep.
But what about as a gift? I want to hear from the ladies and the guys. Yeah. I want to hear from both. Let me know.
And are you a lady that buys them for a guy?
And guys, ask your lady if she doesn't listen and relay. Okay? Boost that in or leave us a voicemail. We want to know. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see where that split lies and see who agrees with me versus Hens, Okay, here we go. It's time to talk chickens, at least just for a little bit. I got high availability hens, and they're on the way.
What?
High availability hens.
They're on the way?
Yeah, I'm building it. The hens are here, but the high availability is not yet. I'll get to that.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to share some chicken observations with you. Having mostly my only experience with chickens would be when I was a young lad, but then everything else I've had has been cats and dogs for the most part. So a couple things are interesting, I think. Number one, chickens are actually easier to train than I thought. Sometimes you only have to show them something once or twice, and they've actually got it. If it's something they're kind of inclined to, they've got it. So that, I think, is interesting. I would have thought, actually, you couldn't train them at all.
Did you get them a xylophone?
I'm going to, actually.
Oh, sweet. What about swing?
I'm not convinced on the swing.
Oh.
It's on my consideration list. But the xylophone, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, a little, they need, that's the other thing I've learned, is they need
something to do.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought they'd be dumb birds that sat in their brooder box until they were big, and then they'd go outside and they'd peck at the ground.
Nope.
No.
Did you see there's a chicken coop out here on the corner?
Yeah. It's nice. So you really do have to kind of keep them stimulated. So I'm constantly going out and getting them like a clump of grass or something, or putting something in there for them to do. And you do have to work with their jumpy dinosaur brains. Like they just get, seeing something come at them triggers their predator instinct. But then once you grab them now, they're very very mellow for the most part, very chill. Not all of them, but for the most part. But keeping chickens in a small space has been a real choice. So we have...
Oh my gosh, this is a picture of all of them?
This is almost all of them. Yeah,
Look
we have
at that neck.
8 birds. Yeah.
Look at those necks.
I'll put a link in the show notes if you're listening to the audio version.
Which ones are Dill's?
The yellow one that's hunched down right there is Dylan's. And then I don't think Blue's below. The other one that's Dylan's isn't.
Oh, okay.
The one that's yellow and hunched down is named Sweetie, and she's our escape artist. She is the clever one of the group. So yeah, link to that in the show notes. But what we have done, because they need to kind of be in a warmish environment, they're getting older, but they still have to be kind of warm, is we have brooder boxes that we've built out of bins, and then we have removed the dinette from the RV and set it up there. So they are in the RV with us, which
for how long
has been a choice. Well, until the outside coop is ready, because we'll make it so it's accommodable for them.
Yeah.
We are going to build a proper run in a hen house that is going to be protected from aerial predators and all of that. And it's going to have this cool egg roller that sticks out the back. So you'll be able to walk up to it without even having to go in the coop. And all of the eggs that they've laid will just roll into this catcher. And then we just open that up, boop, 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 grab the eggs.
Nice.
That's going to be fun. I'm going to have cameras in there too. In fact, okay, let me get into it.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going with the high availability
live camera?
thing.
Like, could anybody check in at any time?
Yeah, I think
when will that be
I
live?
want to have a camera at least that the kids could check in on, which would be any of us.
Yeah.
And then, of course, one I can monitor. I do want to have an auto door in there that opens and closes. And I want to have a couple of small like LED light strips in there just for the winter when it's getting dark a lot, just to help them with their egg production. But to make this work, and this is where the high availability plan comes in, is I have to re-architect how I do my home automation and smart home setup, because all of it runs on a system inside Lady Jupes. But this has to work when Jupes isn't there.
Outside. Oh, right.
Yeah. I do have a lot of outside stuff that ties into Jupes.
Yeah.
But this has to work when we're gone. And so does Dylan's space, and there needs to be an internet connection. And if we're monitoring the garden, it could be a massive second Home Assistant camera DVR setup that is just for the chicken coop and the garden that runs autonomously from the RV. But is also somehow connected and can share internet. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a project. And it's already starting because we need to build the hen house, and I got to set up the automatic door, and the automatic door's got to talk to Home Assistant. So I got to have a Home Assistant. So before the coop's even built, I'm already in this position. So it's a little stressful. But I'll build it out over the next few weeks slowly. I think it'll be okay. And I am looking forward to getting them out of the RV. Not only because it takes up a lot of space and they do kick up dust and whatnot, but they poop a lot. They poop so much.
Yeah.
They like maybe every 5-10 minutes they poop.
That's crazy.
They poop on everything.
Yeah.
And so that stinks.
Yeah.
And we have to clean
Literally.
it. Yeah. And, I think maybe it'll be less as they get a little bit older, but not much less. And we do have an outdoor pen for them that they can hang out in, and that has been nice. But the issue is that when they are in the RV, they're right next to us, and that's either a great experience, can be a lot of fun. One of the birds likes to jump up on the water thing and kind of peek her head up and try to watch us from time to time and see what we're doing. And it can also be pleasant. They can be really kind of make pleasant noises when they're just having a good time. I put a little bush in there for them to peck at that keeps them busy for a bit. And they're pretty happy. They don't make much noise. I can work with that, right? I can work to that. The problem is they also sometimes trigger that infant crying dad instinct.
Oh, gosh.
That's really hard to work through and sounds kind of like this. And, you try for a couple of minutes, but when it just keeps going in the background, it can be very distracting. It's hard to focus on what you're reading, hard to focus on what you're listening to, especially because, they're calling for you. They're asking for you, and you don't want to traumatize them. So that, I'm really looking forward to getting them out because they can be very, very distracting birds. The other challenge has been, and I did not expect this, is we ended up getting some sick birds.
Oh.
They have this thing called coccidiosis.
Oh.
And it's an intestinal gut parasite problem.
Oh, maybe that's why they're pooping so much.
Yeah, well, some of them. And it rips up their intestines after a while. And they pick it up by drinking something that's already been contaminated.
Oh.
And wet and dirty
with
conditions.
Infected droppings. So from other chicks?
Yeah.
Huh.
So we went back to the farm store that we got these birds from. And this is a few days later when we realized we had a couple of sick chicks, which we had to isolate into their own bin and do this whole procedure, which is twice the work and all of that.
Yeah.
So we walk in there. Oh, yeah, several of our birds are sick. We've moved them all over to this pen. And we don't know what's going on. We're not sure what they've got. So what we've been doing is we're just trying to send them home for free. We're just giving them to anybody that'll take them because we figure they got a better shot at home with somebody than they do here with us. But the issue is this is extremely contagious.
Yeah.
So if somebody just takes us and they don't know better, they take one of these sick birds home to try to nurse it back to life or whatever.
Contaminate all the other.
Yes. It makes all the other birds sick.
Yeah.
So 2 of our birds have it. They're in their own bin. That's helped. But we have been working slowly to kind of bring them back around because when they're young, this kind of thing can really knock them out. They have poor weight gain. They get their feathers messed up. They also don't grow properly, so they stay smaller than the other birds. So then the other birds start picking on them because they're little.
Yeah.
And that can make the situation worse. So every night we're literally taking a couple of these sick birds out and spoon feeding them a mush medicine recipe in our hands, just sitting there. And now it's like a 2-hour job every night until these birds are better. So you're sitting there after we eat, we go get the birds, we put them on our lap, we feed them with a little spoon, and they just sit there and peck at the spoon for like 45 minutes or something. And that's what I'm spending my evening doing while I'm watching TV. The upshot is now these 2 birds love to snuggle. They get in the burrow in, or right on the shoulders. I'm walking around the RV and then poop on me real quick.
Right? Yeah, real quick.
Just real quick. Yeah. So we do get some sick bird snuggles, which has been really nice, and they're very friendly. So we have Boss, Chief, Mellow, Blue, Sweetie, Caramel, Luda, and Susan.
Okay. I see it's caramel, not caramel.
Well, we kind of go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
We kind of go back and
Or
forth.
like spelling wise. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's still disagreement
Details,
among some of the names. Like Sweetie's name might actually be Trouble.
Ah.
You know, because
Yeah.
she's actually a lot of trouble. She
Yeah.
was initially extremely sweet and social. Now it turns out she was utilizing us as an escape artist, and it was all part of her plan all along. So, but it's been fun, and I think in the next couple of weeks we'll have the hen house built, and we'll have them out and about. And every day we're putting them outside for a few hours, kind of getting them acclimated a little bit. We have a more closed bin, and we also have a much wider open bin that they can run around in and practice their flying and jumping and their perching. Oh, interesting thing. Just, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? So we added perching bars to their bins that are in the RV.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing so, and people that have chickens know exactly what probably happened. By doing so, we immediately kicked off the pecking order process.
Oh.
Which had not really
you
begun.
Have varying heights.
Yes, and position.
Interesting.
And there's the best spot on the perch.
Yep.
And then there's the
Oh my
birds that
gosh,
want to hang
that's
out with
funny.
the big bird. And so for the last 2 nights since we added that, it's been nothing but pecking order sorting and ruffling and birds falling and flying up and yelling at each other.
You haven't separated the roosters?
No, I only have one rooster confirmed, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I want them to try to socialize as much as possible now
Yes,
with each other.
Right.
So
Yeah, for sure.
they are
especially if there's only one rooster.
There might be one, or
Isolation.
might be two, definitely probably one. And they are the biggest stinkers, too, about going for arm rides and stuff. Like the other birds now, you can just scoop them, and they don't really make a fuss. But the two that we suspect are roosters, they always have to make a big deal about it. But, yeah, more. Whew, it has been a process. It has been a process. And now we're going up to Linux Fest Northwest, and probably be the longest we've kind of left them unattended for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But it's been fun. And if you have any chicken advice or tips for me, I still want them. You can give us a call. Or, of course, you can leave us a voicemail. But that's it. That's my chicken adventure updates. So
Nice.
that, what that means? It's
Yes.
time for our track of the week. And I think this one's pretty interesting.
Now's the time. It's the song of the week. Remember, you can boost the track. They sure like that.
Okay, so this track is called Cold Hearted, and I felt like it was really inspired by The Weeknd or a song of that nature. The creator is SNJU, so Snooju, perhaps? Not quite sure how you say it, but this is Cold Hearted, and 95% of your sats go directly to the artist if you boost while the song plays.
Hide your lies away in cold light of day. coming. Blame it on the rain, blame it on me, blame it on the pain that started it. You got to blame it on your cold-hearted, cold-hearted. Blame it on the rain, blame it on me, blame it on the pain that started it. You got to blame it on your cold-hearted, cold-hearted. Blame it on the rain, blame it on me, blame it on the pain that started it. You got to blame it on your cold-hearted, cold-hearted. Blame it on the rain, blame it on me, blame it on the pain that started it. You got to blame it on your cold-hearted, cold-hearted.
Well, I'm just going to make a quick call to my launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 774-462-5667. That's it. All right. 774-462-5667. Call now.
Well, it is that time to do some voicemails, and we got a nice batch. Our first one comes from Joe, and he's got a chicken tip for me.
Chris and Angela, IR Joe in mid-Michigan. I just want to say again that once your chicks are raised in that heat that they need and they go outside, don't heat them. Let them live in the cold. If they get used to heat and it fails, then they'll die. They can survive down to negative 20. We've done it all year long here in mid-Michigan. Talk to you later.
Good tip, IRL Joe, and that kind of tracks with what I've heard.
Also, is it too late?
No, because we're beginning about once a day now. We're putting them out for a couple hours, sometimes even longer if the weather's nice. Just so that way we have time to clean out their bins inside the RV. And yeah, I think the weather is probably nice enough we don't need a heater out there. The other thing I've heard, the thing that really matters is they can deal with cold. It is wet and dirty that they don't really deal so well with when they're wet and it's cold. Thank you, IR Joe. Appreciate that. Mark is calling in. We got Mark again. He's got open claw and chickens on the brain.
Mark from Northern Michigan. Hi, Chris and Andrews. Tried to doing that right this time. I listened to the podcast.
Good job, Mark.
Follow up with a couple things. First off, the open claw setup. Actually, when I did it the first time on the desktopless Ubuntu VM, I did use actually the OpenClaw itself, and it helped me walk through and do that. But it was a very, very complex setup, and I didn't know if it was going to be sustainable. So I was able to go through this past weekend. I was successful in getting the OpenClaw set up. Yeah, burnt through a lot of tokens. I've redone how I'm going to do that, but that's a totally another story. But it's successful. I have access to it, and I'm learning a way, trying to keep it as low cost as possible. As far as roosters, yes, we did keep one of them. Actually, we kept two of them.
All right.
Because one was cute, and the other one was just as cute.
Yeah.
And that actually gave us 4 roosters and 16 hens, which was a problem.
Oh.
Because you really need 1 rooster for every 8 hens, or else it becomes an issue, a big issue. We did have a rooster die over the winter, and actually we had 2 roosters die. We're down to 2 roosters. We have 13 hens.
Okay.
And
how's the 2 going?
It's a decent mix. We have 15 more hens coming this spring.
Whoa.
With some chicks.
Wow.
But I think with your current
Do they sell
lineup,
eggs?
you might have some fighting issues. Even though they grow up together,
Yeah.
as they get older, their roosterliness will come out. One's going to be the dominant one, and the other one is just going to get proven. But that's chicken meth. That just means you got to go get more chicks.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have a great one.
That is
Talk to you next time.
that is a consideration because they are a lot of fun. I'm not positive the second one is a rooster. It's clear the bigger one is already the boss, and it's funny because Bella named that bird Boss before we even had any idea. They were just tiny little chicks. But Boss is big and definitely puts the other one, which we think could possibly be a rooster, in its place, but we're not sure. I'm sad that we may have to get rid of our second rooster because I really like them. Although Chief is the biggest complainer. Chief is the one we think could be a rooster. All the big squawking often comes from Chief. These frickin' birds learn to beg like a dog.
Oh, wow.
So two things. When they see me and it's been a while, they big squawk because they want dried worms.
Mm-hmm.
And if they hear us opening a bag, just like Levi, if they hear us opening a bag, they assume it's for them. It must be a treat. And so then they start big squawking every time you open a bag.
Oh, my gosh.
And then they don't stop. They don't stop.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. Mark is calling in, and he's following up with some fertilized egg handling tips. Take it. Oh, Mark, are you there? Take it away, sir.
Mark from Northern Michigan.
Oh, it's Mark
number
again.
2.
I
I
thought it
hope
was another
that
Mark.
last message came through.
Yeah, we got you, Mark. Thanks for calling back.
I'm driving back. I completely disconnected my phone from the edge from the car so that it would sound okay, but you never know. So I hope it came through. Anyhow, second call specifically on chickens as you're continuing to talk about it. Eggs. Yeah, you got to assume once they get older, right now you're cool, but you got to assume once they get past 3-4 months that they're 100% fertilized, especially if you got 2 roosters. You don't have to worry about it right away. As long as you collect them once a day, once every other day, you're going to be good. I found out with this last year when we did those 9 chicks, you could actually have the eggs in room temperature laying out on the counter for 7 days from being laid, then actually put them in the incubator and they'll grow.
Wow.
But if you don't ever put them in an incubator, they're not going to grow. If the hen is brooding on them, though, then you got problems.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not an immediate thing. And probably a couple days. And now, like I said, talk to you next week. Mark from Northern Michigan, I guess your chicken guy. Out.
I love it. Love that Mark's our chicken guy now. And, I do think I want to raise some chicks. I mean, how fun, because then if you get them from when they're hatched, they'd be really sweet on you. And if I got a rooster, and we're probably going to have more eggs than we can eat, hopefully. I don't know. That could be fun. Okay, Matt calls in with a multi-monitor setup.
I like you. You're a hot ticket.
Hey, it's Matt from Clearwater, Florida, and I was calling about that monitor question. Well, that was my cat. So I have, from various past jobs and things, I have 3 monitors. They are all the same size, but 2 are, 2560 by 1440, and the other is 1920 by 1080. So thanks to KDE and Wayland, I can scale them all the same. So even though the lower resolution one is a little blurrier, it still takes up exactly the same amount of space, and it also takes up the same amount of physical space, so that works great. And then I also use that same setup for work with a Mac, and of course I had to install a bunch of paid software to do the same thing that Wayland does with no problem.
Right.
Yeah, I would never go back to a single display, but when I do, I use virtual desktops in KDE. Thanks. Enjoy the show, and I've been listening every week.
Awesome.
Thank you, Matt. One of the nice things landing in a future version of KWin will be independent virtual desktops per monitor, which is a really powerful feature. Sam calls in on the multi-monitor subject as well.
Hey, Chris and Angela. It's Bearded Zero in southeastern New Mexico.
Hello, Bearded Zero.
I think we can resolve this whole bearded issue, and we'll just call myself Sam. So, it's Sam from southeast New Mexico. Anyways. As for the whole monitor situation, I used to have an ultra wide and love the ultra wide. But the problem is, full screen from the ultra wide, you just feel very angry because, it just takes like you're on a web page. Yeah, the center part of your screen now has web page and everything else is screwed. So you end up snapping things everywhere.
Yes.
And it's a disaster, a train wreck. And there's been times I've hooked up 2 outputs to my desktop so they act like 2 separate screens. And then you maximize and it does the thing, but then you want to drag that window across both of them. It's a little jank.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in Windows anyways. I don't ever use that monitor with Linux. Anyways, recently I had to do inventory of the whole company. So the ultra-wide just wasn't doing it for me. So I grabbed 3 24-inch monitors and hooked those things up. And that made it easier for me to have information on the right, spreadsheet on the left. And then center was also my working space.
Yep.
And so it just, that whole flow works so much better. At home, I had 2 27-inch monitors And then I took one off to use on my server, and then it broke. And now I have a single monitor. I do need to bring my ultrawide back home because it's my own personal monitor.
Yeah.
But I think it's so freaking big and heavy and just takes up so much space on the desk, I don't really have room for it. So I don't know. And also has an issue where it just doesn't work right until it warms up. It sounds weird for a monitor that's an LCD. You know, things.
Like
Anyway.
an old boob tube.
Yeah.
When I wanted to watch a movie at my parents' house, I'd turn the TV on for like 5 minutes to warm it up to get the picture to where I wanted it. Yeah.
You're old.
So I reduced my at home I had an ultra wide monitor, a big old SOB, and I went down to a smaller ultra wide. And the reason why I like it is because it's perfect for a really wide browser and then notes. And then like the other monitor, the other workspace can be like chat apps and stuff. It's just love it.
My ultra wide I use for spreadsheets. Like when I
I bet.
scroll left for days,
I bet
like
you do.
I do need the whole width sometimes. But then also when I'm not needing to scroll for days, I'll have it smaller and have Slack there so that I can still see who's messaging me.
I think Pacific Penguin called in following up on our discussion around navigation.
Hello there, Chris and Angela from the lounge. It is Pacific Penguin. I'm listening to the new episode that was recorded. I don't know what Monday it was, but 13, 14, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Talking about navigation. I started driving in 8. Yeah. MapQuest for a lot of stuff, at least early on.
Oh, yeah.
Until like smartphones became bigger or I guess smaller, more ubiquitous. In which case started using like, the maps and such. But even then data was limited, so kind of didn't do as much. But once data became not much of an issue, or I was able to like download the maps prior, and even now I use it daily, like every day I go to work, I come home from work, I pop on, Google Maps and I go, hey, tell me, how do I get home? How do I get to work? And it goes, here you go.
Yep.
I'm like, time is about right. Okay, yeah, no accident.
Yep.
Or no slow down, no traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I am basically relying upon this stupid, or I'm not going to say bad words, but I'm relying on this damn thing. Is that a bad word? I don't know. Either way. Yeah, So good times. I'm still going to the episode, but I figured I'd call and say something before I forgot. And, of course, now there's a slowdown, so I jinxed myself. Wonderful. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I will talk at you, I don't know, in the next 5 minutes maybe.
A couple days after we talked about that, I was using Nav to get home from a memorial that I went to on Camino Island on Saturday. And I missed that it was telling me to get off at Smoky Point. And then traffic started slowing down, and I was screwed. Like, I was just stuck in red, plus 7 minutes to...
Probably tulip traffic. Probably
no,
return
it was
tulip
an
traffic.
accident.
Oh, okay.
No, it was
well, that's probably a tulip driver.
It was southbound.
A tulip driver got in
Through
an
Marysville.
Okay.
Okay.
Good old MapQuest. Yep. That's my primary experience now with the tulip traffic is I hit home and I say, an extra 15 minutes? All right. Our next caller appears to be named Chris, a very distinguished and rare name.
Hi, guys. This is Chris here, or CBA in the Matrix chat.
Hello, CBA.
I just wanted to weigh in on the whole AI content thing. I do think it's useful to have that in the show. You guys do a great job covering it, so having it in the show every so often, it's a good thing to have. I think it's very relevant. Also, I do have someone else here that would like to just say something to you guys.
Hey, so this is the real Chris Fisher, and I don't know how you guys managed to get this clone of me going, but I've been listening to the launch since the beginning, and this AI of me is doing a pretty bang-up job. That being said, I'd love to hear about how you guys have been doing it, and I'll throw my hat into the more AI content bucket. So keep up the good AI work, and I look forward to you guys covering some AI content and news. I think this stuff is fascinating, and you guys do a great job covering just the right amount with highlights and news without it feeling overbearing. See you later, Andrews, and stay good, AI, Chris. Till next time.
That's so good.
That's funny.
I'd like to know what you used to generate that. I've been playing around with a couple different ones. All right, so this next one, Andrews, our producer labeled it as an accidental butt recording.
Oh.
But I think it might have been something else entirely. I want to see if you can identify it. Okay.
No.
That's gotta be chickens.
Really?
That's got to be chickens. That's somebody's chickens.
That's weird.
A chicken called the launch. It's officially happened. I think a first for podcasting right there.
Right?
A first. All right, so it is almost Linux Fest Northwest. It is this coming weekend, and a race is already afoot. PJ, producer Jeff, and Brentley are en route to the studio, and the race is on. One has known about this and has had planned in since last Linux Fest. That would be Brent, right? As part of the Linux Unplugged crew. He's known what's coming for a whole year and has been working this in, so he's got an edge. Jeff, on the other hand, very limited in scope and when he can travel because he has to get very specific time off from work. He's going to be carpooling with somebody else. So the odds are in either's favor, and Jeff called in. And I think Jeff's feeling fired up. He may have got his timing off a little bit on this, but I like the confidence.
PJ here, just sitting in the rain in my van at work. And I just thought I'd call to pre-gloat. Because you see, I'm going to be up there in something like 18 hours. And now I know that there's no way Brent can be there in about 18 hours. Where in the world is Brentley? I don't know. Will he? Will he beat me? 18 hours, Brent. I know he's not here, but I know he's listening. 18 hours, Brent. You got no chance, bud.
When did he leave that voicemail?
This morning.
Okay.
Although it's not quite 18 hours.
Is he going to be here today?
No.
Tomorrow.
So I had the number 18 in my head for some reason.
There we go.
Work. What I meant to say is 42 hours, but that's okay.
That's a big difference.
You still got no chance, Brent. You still got no chance with 42 hours. Okay, that's, plenty of time. If you could drive without sleeping, if you could fly in that van, added some rocket boosters or something, maybe. But you got no chance, bud. You got no chance. 42 hours. I will be there. Not 18. Whoops, my bad. What can I say? I'm tired. It's okay. It's fine. We all are. 42 hours, Brent. Can you do it? The race is on, buddy.
So
race is on.
In chat, he's saying 33 hours now.
Well, I think he's doing a little Brent math there. I'm not sure what's happening. But I think the ultimate move, PJ, now you're going to be exhausted, but the ultimate move would be to knock out one of the big projects before Brent even gets here. And so when we're like, oh, the job's done. Job's finished. Guys, what took you so long? What took you so long? Obviously, I'm betting he's not going to make it. I'm betting PJ's going to make it because you hear the determination in that man's voice.
Yeah, he's tired, but he is confident.
He's confident he's going to make it. And, well, that's where I place my bets. All right, there you go. That's our voicemails this week, at least the ones I caught before we started the show. We'd love it if you left us a voicemail for next week. We have the phone number in the show notes for you. I've also mentioned it several times. Oh, what's that?
Now's the time. It's the song of the week. Remember, you can boost the track. They sure like that.
But Hank will tell you how to call us. You just got to figure it out on your own. I guess he didn't want to tell you this time, so you don't get it. Sorry, but thank you everybody who called us. And Andrews,
4 score and 7 boosts to go.
we do have a few boosts to do. And our first booster this week is from Antoine. Or Antoine? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Antoine? Yeah, and not Antoine, right? Although an ant wand would be cool. The power of ants! And Antoine boosted in with 9,001 sats.
It's over 9,000!
I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I also get defensive when other places try to take credit for Satsquatch. But I have to tell you about this guy. He goes by the name of Saxsquanch, and he has some really fun music. He plays in a full Saxsquanch outfit, and here's an article about him. You don't know about Saxsquanch?
No.
Oh, Angie, so good. I'll play just a little bit because it'll get us in trouble, but oh, yeah. This is the Squanch right here. And he's wearing a full Satsquanch.
That's funny.
He's got a whole channel full of original songs. I mean, it's pretty good. It's really good, and he's actually pretty talented. I haven't looked it up.
I don't know. The costume reminds me of a combination of Klingon and Geordie.
Oh, and maybe a little Chewbacca in there too, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the Saxsquanch, we'll have a link to that article in the show notes. It is a lot of fun. And I really appreciate that you understand my defensiveness about it, That meant more to me than you can realize. Thank you for the boost. Appreciate it, Antoine. Turd Ferguson's back with 8,888 sats.
Turd Ferguson!
You guys were talking about GPS navigation systems, but the one thing that really made the difference was in the year 2000. The U.S. government made GPS signals more accurate for civilian use, making all of the dedicated hardware and phone systems possible. Yeah, I remember that, actually. The other thing, too, that I think maybe we could have mentioned in our coverage, thinking back on it, is the way your cell phone works is really called assisted GPS. And Apple didn't invent this, but they definitely productized it. And it uses correlation with 3 cell phone towers and GPS. Because if you think about it, it actually is a bit of work for that tiny little thing in your pocket to talk to satellites.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have a clear shot of the sky. So it gets an assist from the 3 nearest cellular towers. And then from that, it can kind of triangulate its position, narrow down where it's at. Then it can also look at Wi-Fi SSIDs that it knows about nearby that have location information. And then lastly, it grabs onto the satellites and pulls in some GPS information. But it's the combination of all those services, Wi-Fi SSID, cellular towers that you're connected to, and the enhanced GPS signals since the year 2000 to make that possible. Thank you, Turd. We also got just below the cutoff a live boost from Mr. Wes Payne. Boost! Thank you, Wes Payne. Appreciate that. And thank you, everybody who streamed sats. 4 of you did so, and collectively we stacked 20,387 sats from you sat streamers, which makes you our baller boosters.
He's a good guy. He's a real good guy.
No, he's a great guy.
But when you combine it all together, not particularly strong week, 23,897. It must be because everybody's saving their sats to go to Linux Fest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, definitely.
That's got to be what it is. It's not because they hate the launch and want it to go away and get replaced by an AI show. I'm sure that's not why. Well, every now and then, Andrews, we do like to break a little news here on the show.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And last night, Tim Cook announced he would be stepping down from Apple in September. He'll be replaced by John Termes, who is succeeding him, who is heavy on the engineering side. And then Tim Cook will transition to the role of executive chairman on September 1st. Termes is currently a senior vice president of hardware engineering and will join Apple's board of directors when he becomes the new chief. And we have a little coverage here from CBS News to set us up.
Changes for Apple. After 15 years, Tim Cook is leaving his post as CEO of Apple, and starting in September, he will be the executive chairman of Apple's board of directors. The next CEO will be John Termes. He's currently Apple's senior vice president of hardware engineering. In a statement, Apple said Termes started at Apple in 2001, working on the design team. He helped launch the iPad and AirPods. So joining us now to talk about the changes is Mike Isaac, a technology correspondent.
Actually, my name's Chris, but thank you. So this change is notable for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a little earlier than expected. A lot of the rumors and the talk on the street would be 2 years from now. There's also been very strategic, controlled information leaks. And Apple is clearly putting a message out there that Termes is an engineer-focused first guy. And did you know he was against the Vision Pro? He never wanted to ship the Vision Pro. Like, they're putting these signals out there that he's going to be a decisive decision maker. He's going to return to the era of Steve Jobs of making quick decisions. And that's been leaked by a couple of outlets, including Mark Gurman of Bloomberg, who often has a pretty direct lead on this kind of stuff. And they say the reason he was picked in this Gurman report is it came down to finally his decision-making style was closer to Steve Jobs, and they wanted a man of action. I think there's going to be a little bit of rewriting of history. Tim Cook, he had to take over for Steve Jobs. That's a freaking impossible job, and he actually did it, and he grew the company. And a lot of the products that we use today came out and were refined in the Cook era, like Apple Watch, like the iPhone. Yes, it was announced by Steve Jobs, obviously, but it's been really refined into a international hit with Cook. He was a master of operations. So I think he deserves his flowers for that. I think the other reason why this is maybe happening now is because there is this broader discussion around Apple being behind in the AI race.
Oh.
And they need a shakeup.
Sure.
They need an engineer for that. Actually, I think the funny thing is Apple's actually saved a lot of face by being behind an AI race right now, but that's a separate topic.
Right.
The other thing that's obviously strategic that strikes me about this is they're putting this out before WWDC, which is in June. That's their once-a-year big Apple conference that gets all of the attention, and Apple is very strategic about the messaging around WWDC. So the reason they're putting this out now in April is to have essentially a finality to the conversation, to get the reaction through everyone's system, all the podcasters and all the pundits that are going to, pontificate on this for the next couple of weeks, and to allow time for the market to absorb this change at the stock market level, which so far the stock market seems to be actually, they consider this to be bullish. The stock is down for external reasons, macro conditions, but overall the analysis from Wall Street seems to be positive. So I think they did this intentionally in April to create space for everybody to process this, so that by the time WWDC rolls around in June, they might make mention, they might, do a handoff or say something, maybe. But it's going to be very, very forward-looking. And they don't want you really talking about Tim Cook anymore. They're going to want you talking about whatever new AI product or foldable iPhone or whatever it might be. And to that end, that means that Ternus is going to be the CEO that oversees the launch of the inevitable foldable iPhone, which I think will also be interesting because that's what everybody will consider his first big product, no doubt.
I heard that he was going to be over the launch. And so I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, he's coming on the show.
Yeah.
Good friends, really like him. He seems to be a great guy. Some people thought it was going to be Craig Federighi, Mr. Hairdo, that was going to end up running. Craig Federighi,
Mr. Hairdo.
He is a software guy, and Termis is a hardware engineer guy. And Apple is trying to put that message out there that we're going to be a hardware engineering first company again. The days of Apple being an operational first company are over, and that this is a shift for hardware innovation in a long-term strategic stability strategy is the actual message they put out to Mark Bloomberg. So that seems to be the move. And I don't know, as a casual Apple consumer, do you care about these kinds of changes at the company?
Not in particular, but I would be so afraid to be in such a public and high position.
Ooh.
Everybody
talking about every move and change and
And then it hasn't been stated, but he does appear to be a younger person. So
I think he's in his early 50s.
Yeah, so maybe that will help.
Yeah. I mean, Tim, what is he coming? He's clocking at nearly 15 years in that position. I mean, he is of retirement age.
Mm-hmm.
And you put somebody else in there who's 50, he could go for another 15 years himself, possibly, and still have some of that original Steve Jobs legacy DNA, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know what you think about the development, and if you care at all, you can, of course, boost in or leave us a voicemail and let us know what you think about this one. You do remember that voicemail number, right?
Well, I'm just going to make a quick call to the launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday.
Yeah, come on.
774462567. That's it. All right. 774462567.
Yeah.
Call now.
Come on. Do you want your flowers? You got any chicken tips? And what do you think about old Tim Apple becoming Tim Cook again? He's no longer going to be Tim Apple. Now we have John Apple. I kind of like John Apple, actually. That's not so bad. All right, Andrews, that's it for us here at the weekly launch. If you're at Linux Fest Northwest, come say hi. Let us know that you watch or listen to the launch. That could be fun, right? We'd love to hear that. And of course, links to what we talked about this week, those are over at weeklylaunch.rocks. We'd love it if you join us next Tuesday during our Linux Fest Northwest hangover, or you'll catch us in your podcast app live, well, live in the sense of a download, Wednesday morning. All right, that's it from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you right back here, not tomorrow, not Thursday. We'll see you back here next week. Oh, and at Linux Fest! Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay, let's pick our title, y'all. Let's do it. Thank you, Drew.
All right. Auricularia aricula judae. Jelly ear / wood ear.
Are you having a seizure? What's going on over there? What's happening?
That is the type of mushroom
Oh, you looked it up.
growing out of the wood.
We have a studio mushroom. So can we keep it? Is it safe?
Okay, it is a safe, edible mushroom.
Yes!
However, not growing where it is.
Oh.
Because it's pulling toxins and
Of what?
dyes from the wood.
Oh, it's growing out of the wood?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it is a safe edible mushroom widely used in Asian cuisine for its crunchy texture, not flavor. It offers health benefits such as acting as an anticoagulant,
How did it get here?
but should be avoided before surgery and consumed in moderation by those with bleeding issues.
Was it in the wood?
So
Do we have like Asian wood?
AI says the presence of this fungus indoors indicates a significant moisture problem, such as water leak or high humidity, causing the wood
shit.
structure to decay.
I wonder if we have a water leak in the closet.
Yeah.
There is plumbing from the upstairs bathroom that runs through that wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never smelled mold though.
Well, did you smell that closet?
Yeah.
It smells like a cabin.
Yeah, it does.
smells like my,
it does.
my
Yeah, it does.
grandparents'
No, I
cabin.
agree. When I opened it, I was like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, like what is in that closet? What's in that
Coats?
closet, Chris?
Coats and vacuums?
Hmm.
I don't know. It's weird, huh?
Yeah, it says it is recommended to investigate the source of moisture immediately to prevent further structural damage.
Oh,
to your
AI
home
is so dramatic.
and potential health-related issues.
Chicken woes and monitor blows.
Not safe to eat raw.
Ah.
Just in case you were,
So I got to
thinking
fry
about
it up maybe in some butter.
Yeah. Oh, however, let's see. Where is it? Cooking hazard. Fresh specimens are known to sometimes explode in a hot pan.
Wow.
So it is recommended to cook them carefully.
Wow. High availability hens. Chicken woes and monitor blows. Will the real AI Chris Fisher please stand up?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
The anti-vision. These are pretty good, guys. I'm going through them right now. The boulder is disappointed. That was pre-show. Not that chicken pox. Goodbye, Tim Apple. Some people, look at you, my cookie, pre-firing the title there before we even got to the topic. Yeah, 'cause we're growing explosive mushrooms in the studio. How about that?
Apparently.
That's so fucking cool. All right. I like high availability hens. It rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I also like chicken woe and monitor blow.
Whoa.
Little long though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is long.
Maybe doesn't beat high availability hens. But I do like it. So I'm going to give it.
Oh, flowers and feathers is nice.
Yeah, it doesn't quite hit me.
Oh.
Pedal pushers is also not bad, but doesn't quite hit me. Not quite.
Oh, as in flower petal?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Oh, I just got super hungry. What am I going to do? What is with that? Highly unedible. No, it is edible, just not in its current condition.
Well, or the location that it's growing out of. It's not like it has a nice soil base. It's growing out of the
Hey, we don't know.
the treated wood
Yeah.
of the house.
Probably not great. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, the high availability.
It's all right?
hens.
It's okay?
Yeah. Are you going to have pictures of this chicken run?
Oh, I probably should, huh? Yeah, I should do like a little follow-up when we have it built. I might just do that. Okay, I think that's it for us. Mumble Room, thank you very much for hanging out with us up there in the quiet listening. Safe travels there, PJ.
Yep, and we'll see some of you this weekend.
Yes, see some of yous. Goodbye, guys. See you next Tuesday. And of course, if you've been listening live, we appreciate you giving it that live vibe. Maybe help on his boat on a title. It's always great. And if you're one of our members, thank you very, very much for making this possible. We couldn't do it without you. We do it for you. So thank you very much, too. And I hope to see you at Linux Fest, and at least hope to see you next week. Bye, y'all!
go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.